How sweet it is to be loved by you nerds. What is up? It's me, your buddy pal HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. 3 days in a row. We are on 3 days in a row. But this is the official time slot, right? This is the official weekly Thursday night nerdy talk show where we sit back and relax. I said we sit back and relax. And hopefully by now you poured yourself just a little bit of Ooh. It's actually, as I make this face, not that bad. But yes, this is your. I'm telling you, I got to figure out a new phrase to say. I can't say weekly anymore because we've been going live more days in the week. But this is our regular time slot. So yeah, I'll figure that out. Maybe you guys can help me figure that out together. Of course, if you have a YouTube channel, a podcast, a blog, an OnlyFans, a newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be, put it in the chat. Support one another. Plug yo shit. We have the one and only rambling nerd himself, Anthony, joining the show today. So that will be a good time as per usual. You know, I think we're gonna talk Daredevil for sure. But I think we might have to do the spoiler conversation. It's been 48 hours. So what I'll do is maybe I'll save it for the end of the show, and then I'll put on some glasses so you know when we're doing spoiler talk, and then I'll take the glasses off when we're not doing spoilers. Will that work? Does that work out for all of you? But without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend. It is me. It's me. I tend to be the problem. It is me. So delish as I make this face. Happy to have you guys here today. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do plugs. You guys know, nerdaffiliated.com, nerdaffiliated on Instagram, TikTok, and all that fun stuff. Rick James has entered the chat. There you go. We go to the top, say hi to everybody. Of course, the rambling nerd. He's in the chat, but he's not on the stream yet, so I don't know what the deal is over there. Porkins in the house. Been a minute. Good to see you. The man collects in the house. Good to see you. Patrick in the house, of course. Good to see you. Daredevil was so good. It was so good. And Days Dimension, of course, in the house. Patrick said, yeah, I'm like 2 episodes from finale, so I'm cool with that. You know, just getting a couple, thoughts out here. I talked about it last night, but I was thinking about it some more, and I think there isn't a lot that could be spoiled for you about the finale outside of like where things end off. Like I think even Disney in their own promo spoiled, some cameos in the show. So I remember like a cameo was spoiled just before I even clicked into the actual episode. And I was like, oh, okay. So I don't think much could be spoiled, to be honest, outside of what's the final result. And, yeah, I can't really think of it. I can't think of any solid spoilers. So let me know if you guys agree or disagree with that take without saying the spoiler, of course. But yeah, those are my thoughts. But I'm glad you guys are all liking the show. Like it's hella fun. It was hella fun. But yeah. But it looks like Anthony has joined the stream. So what I'm gonna have to do is, of course, hide you guys. Actually, no, I won't have to hide you because he won't be on camera. So I'm gonna add him, the one, the only, the rambling nerd himself, Anthony, in the house. Good to see you.
Hey, how we doing?
Oh, there you go, loud and clear. Love that. Perfect.
Nice. Can I take my hand away from my camera?
You can, yes.
Okay.
Oh, you were
really
topless?
get one of those things that
You were
turns
topless
it
and you didn't
off
say anything? That's
or
crazy.
covers it.
Well, there should be an option on there. It should be an option where it's like camera on or off.
No, it makes me select a camera to use. So,
There's no emoji for like on and off.
I mean, not that I'm noticing it. I don't want to screw anything up right now. So, anyway, how are you?
Good. It's weird going live so many days in a row. Like that
Yeah,
part's
you've been putting in the work.
it's gonna be. I'm trying to do 4 days a week. So it's just weird. It's not because I want to come in and do the usual spiel for things, but like I can't because it's not a weekly show. It's not. There's no point giving you guys plugs every day to the website and stuff because if you're watching this episode, you probably at least watched one other one this week or at least a clip or something. So I got to figure out like how to redo things here on the show. I think new intro.
New intro?
I think we got to be born again.
Yeah, I see what you did there. I don't know if you said this beforehand to everybody in the chat. I want to talk about Born Again. I'm assuming you want to keep it spoiler free since it's not been. What's your 72-hour window?
See, no, look at that. You're slacking off. You're slacking off. I just said it's a 48-hour. I've changed. Don't get me wrong. I've changed my opinion, so I don't blame you. But I feel like with TV shows, I've kind of rolled into a 48-hour rule. But with this one, I would have rather not talk about spoilers. But let me know if you agree or disagree with this. I don't think there's really much to spoil about the episode outside of like where things leave off. Because I just think that like the cameos in the show were spoiled. One of them was spoiled when you click to watch the episode. It's like the image on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And then at this point, the whatever else happens cameo wise is already on Instagram. So I feel like the only real spoiler to season 1 in parentheses season 4, the only real spoiler is like where things leave off as we go into the next season.
Yeah, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you agree, disagree, or you're indifferent?
No, I don't disagree. I guess like where it leaves off would be the only thing because I haven't noticed on Instagram, but I'm sure I don't think you're lying to me. So I'm sure that is what they're doing. And yeah, like you said, I saw right there when I opened up the app and went to the show. I'm just gonna say it. I saw Punisher right there with Daredevil, and like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously the context of what that was different. I was expecting some big like kind of like the two of them going after the Irish mob in season 2 type of scene, and that's not what we got really. I mean, they did team up a little bit, but I thought that was like final shot of the episode or something. So I was wrong, but yeah, no, they're spoiling stuff all over, and people on Instagram just you can't even be bothered to put a spoilers on the next slide and have people swipe over anymore.
No
respect.
Well, you know what I think actually ruined that was Instagram does a thing where when you're scrolling your feed, you're not always guaranteed to start off on the first slide of a carousel. So there's been times where I scroll and I see like a meme. Like there's some accounts I follow where it's just a carousel of memes. Sometimes they're all related, sometimes they're not. But sometimes I'll get to one and I'm looking at the meme and I'm like, oh, that's funny or whatever. And I'll notice like it's like the third dot and I can scroll to the left and I can scroll to the right. I notice that quite often. So, it's while some people still do the whole like spoilers if you scroll ahead, it's not a guaranteed you'll avoid them. I've seen it.
That's interesting. I wonder why.
But. Yeah. Take a look. Next time if there's any, profiles you follow that have carousels, like look at the dots and see if you're starting at number 1 every time, or if there's a couple that you're like, oh, that's like number 2 or number 3. Yeah.
HeyArcher Live, Thursday nights, where you wind down your work week and we teach Anthony how to use the internet.
Yes. We try our best. We try our best. Um, Patrick was saying I'm trying to take the intro song from you guys. So I guess I'll leave this up to you. You know, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna, because for some odd reason, something I hate is with Ecamm Live, I can't take advantage of like polls on here. I have to actually like go into the actual feed. So I'm gonna sign in to the stream. I'm forgetting how to use the internet right now. I want to go into the stream and I want to start a poll. Let me see here. If I can, I'm going to go into the stream. That always happens. So I want to do a poll that says, do you like long intros to live videos? Or do you like intros to live videos? Because I've had some people say they like that there's like a countdown before live, so you know there's time. You know, if you're running late, you know you didn't miss anything. But I also hear sometimes like me running through the whole song could be too long of a thing. You got to jump like 4 minutes before I start talking about whatever I'm talking about. So I'm through the poll in there. I'll check it at the end of the stream. Do you like intros to live videos? Yes, no, or yes, but under a minute. We'll see what you guys think. I'm battling my demons. I don't want to end the drum roll thing, you know? That's really it. So we'll see.
Oh, our demons.
Yeah.
They are fun.
Patrick said,
almost like there's a devil.
Yeah, on both shoulders.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. What was that? Wasn't it like a movie or something where like all of a sudden two devils showed up? Was it an Adam Sandler movie?
I don't remember, but I'm picturing it like, yeah, the guy looks and there's the devil on one shoulder and he looks over and the angel didn't appear.
Yeah.
I feel like it might be like a really old, silly movie that I saw that in.
Yeah, he's like, what happened to the other guy? And he's like,
was it Animal House? Where
it could be Animal House.
I think it was Animal House, like where they're at the frat party and the girl passes out and the guy like looks to the to the devils popped up. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. What's up, Ultra Carter? Good to see you. That definitely happens in there, but I don't know if it's the same movie where there's like two devils. There's definitely one where there's like two devils apparently at one point, or the angel converts to a devil. But Dave is, I think, on your side. He's saying John Belushi ? So you might be right.
It wasn't John. It was the John Belushi. He was in the movie. But it wasn't his character. It was like the nerdy kid, one of the new
one of the freshmen. Yeah.
One of the new like pledges. Yeah, the freshman. And spoilers for a movie that came out in the 1970s. It turns out the girl who he's been like flirting with the entire movie is actually like a high school kid, and he's like, it was the 70s, so I guess there were no age limits or whatever. But yeah, she passes out after drinking at the frat party, and then like the devil pops up and basically tells him to do stuff that's very much illegal, and the other angel never shows up until another devil shows up and tells him like to do stuff. So I mean, crazy what they got away with back in the day.
That is on the top 5 movies that like could not be made today. Like,
oh yeah,
you have that one. Oh God, what's the one with Gene Wilder? Blazing Saddles, like, you can't be made.
Oh well, yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds can be made. That. Like classic, like nerdy type comedy movies that just wouldn't fly. Not at all.
No, not one little bit.
Ooh, I think I'm thinking of a Family Guy. It might be Family Guy. And Peter's like, "Oh, what happened to that guy?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know." And he's like stuck in traffic. That's what it was.
Okay,
stuck in traffic.
That's what it was. Yes, that too. Okay.
And then the angel has that moment where his own devil and the angel stuck in traffic.
Oh, Family Guy.
Yeah. Well, we could talk some news, and then we'll save Daredevil towards the end. So if people do want to jump out before heavy spoiler, we'll do that.
Sounds good.
I don't remember the answer actually. Did you watch the Fantastic Four trailer or no?
I didn't, just because I was so busy today. I saw like the clip where Silver Surfer comes down and asks if you're the defenders of this world, and Sue Storm says we are, and then they redo the whole thing where Human Torch chases her into space.
Mm-hmm.
That was all in a very quick clip. I think I saw it on like I don't even know, comic book news or something on Instagram,
Yeah.
and that was it.
So I guess I'll bring up the screenshots I put on Instagram because you pretty much get the gist of it.
Yeah.
So we got a couple new looks on here, and shout out to Dada Films in the house. Good to see you. So we got, like you said, Silver Surfer. We had that scene that's a straight copy paste from Fantastic Four 2. But we also finally got Reed Richards being fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
and a physical look at Galactus outside of his shadow. Which,
Oh, we did? I didn't see that one.
yeah. So did you see Ghostbusters News posted the trailer today, saying like I know who that is in the trailer?
No.
So in this one, you see Galactus walking through New York City, and Ghostbusters News, of course, after he's walking through, cuts to the Empire State Building walking through the city. I actually expected
Marshmallow Man.
That's who I expected it to be, but color scheme wise, and because it's like a human looking foot, I was like, oh, actually, Statue of Liberty does make more sense if you're gonna do that.
You said, okay, I'm sorry. You said Empire State Building walking through the city, and that's why I said Stay Puft, but the Statue of Liberty, right?
Yeah. Oh wait, I said Empire State Building walking through the city.
I'm like 99% sure that's what I heard.
Yeah,
did he say that in the chat, or did I have a schizophrenic moment?
No, my brain's all over the place today. It's been a week.
I'm trying to keep us both in the good graces of the fandom.
I appreciate that. So yeah, you got that in there. Here's the thing. I still have no hype for this movie. And as we were kind of like talking about in the group chat, and you guys in comments can let us know, it seems very much too similar to Fantastic Four 2. Like nothing about this trailer seems like new and fresh outside of it's this new cast and it's, Disney now. I'm wondering if they're doing that on purpose, where there actually will be more to this movie than what we've seen. But I'm also wondering if it's just the classic tale of it's really hard to make people care about Fantastic Four. Maybe it's just impossible to do.
I mean, that could definitely be part of it. I don't know. Maybe they should have done it in like had them come out during Infinity War or something instead of Captain Marvel. Like, I don't know. Maybe like, introducing them backwards instead of doing the origin like they're probably going to do now, and this and that. But yeah, it is. I mean, listen, I'm a comic book fan. I still really don't give a crap about what's going on with the first family. Like even in comics, like whenever I see whenever they cross over with like I mean, really only I read Spider-Man on the Marvel side. Whenever they cross over with Spider-Man, I'm like, oh, cool. This is what's going on with them now.
Mm-hmm.
Like years ago when they killed the Human Torch, I only knew they killed him. Well, okay, I knew they killed him because they were hyping it up as the end. They ended the Fantastic Four book, so I knew about that too. But otherwise, I just read the Spider-Man crossovers, and I think maybe I bought the first arc of the Future Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just because I was like, oh, maybe it'll be in like stupidly thinking, oh, it's a new #1. It'll be worth a lot.
Mm-hmm.
No. So, but yeah, no, it's really tough. I don't know. I mean, Sal, I want to say he's a fan, but like, I also don't know if, I mean, it's probably like one of those, it branches off into, oh yeah, I like Fantastic Four too. I don't know if I know anybody who's like, Fantastic Four, man.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my jam. I read that book every month and I don't miss it, and blah blah blah. So,
well, it's actually I was trying to think of an analogy to this because that's all I do these days is come up with analogies and examples. But it's very similar to old school Roman Reigns before he lost the belt, which you won't get this analogy, but for the wrestling people in the audience, Um, so Marvel, I feel like since the dawn of time has been like, you need to care about Fantastic Four. Like the Fantastic Four is great. You need to care about them. They're awesome. And the fans are like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm good. I don't care. And they were doing that in wrestling for a long time. Vince is like, Roman Reigns is the guy. And literally everybody was like, I don't care. Like, I don't like him. Give me somebody else. And they were like, nope, you got to care about Roman Reigns. You got to care about Roman Reigns. So it seems very similar. I just, to your point, I don't know a single person who's been like, oh, I love the Fantastic Four. The only time I've personally ever cared about a character there, actually two times. One, as a kid, classic conversation around the lunch table, who would win, Hulk or the Thing. And two is the Council of Reeds being a thing. Like I was like, oh, that's interesting. It wasn't enough to make me ever want to read anything, but I'm like, oh, that's cool that he's that smart, that he has a council that's above the Illuminati, where literally just all Reed Richards meet and talk about stuff.
Yeah. There's even I might not be 100% accurate with this, but I'm pretty close. Are you aware of the Maker in the Ultimate Universe?
Not ringing a bell.
So in the old Ultimate Universe, before they ended it, that Reed Richards, I forget if he was always bad or whatever gave them their powers in the Ultimate Universe, cracked his brain. But he very quickly, like you were like, oh wow, we're getting the Ultimate Fantastic Four. They didn't do it this whole time throughout the entire Ultimate run. That ended very quickly, and he was a villain. And the Reed Richards became a villain, and he eventually starts calling himself the Maker. And I want to say he's actually responsible for ending the Ultimate Universe.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely like, and at some point, I don't know how, but at some point he must have crossed over into the main MCU, and Reed and maybe the other Reeds, or at least the Illuminati, captured him, and then they've restarted the Ultimate Universe. So he broke out, and he restarted the Ultimate Universe, and he's calling himself the Maker and all this other crazy shit. And it's actually, the first issue is actually where he breaks out of his prison, is really fucked up, because somehow from prison he assembled a crew to break him out that had enough similarities genetically to him that he would have fooled the censors. It's the whole thing. But then like one guy was a little bit wrong, and when Iron Man, or when 616 Reed Richards goes to investigate, the guy is like a horrible like hodgepodge of people, and he melts. It's disgusting. So definitely not the Reed Richards you're used to. So that's an interesting take on Reed Richards. I don't necessarily like, I don't know, oh, he's an obsessed scientist who ignores his wife and he stretches. I don't know what
Yeah.
you want me to do with that. Like, give me the Maker, you know?
Well, it's weird too
We'll see.
because I was wondering if is he just too boring of a character because he's like just smart and he doesn't have like cool tech like Iron Man, or he just doesn't have cool gear like Batman. But I think it's just like he's just a boring guy. Like Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark, they're interesting people. Like that's part of who they are. But Reed Richards is just like, oh man, it's so hard to be so smart. Like I don't know what to do. Like that's to me, that's like public perception. And maybe Pedro Pascal will change that. Who knows? But I feel like even in the trailer, when you do watch it, it's gonna be classic. Oh man, I was smart, but I wasn't smart enough. Like that's gonna be the whole thing of the movie. So let's catch up on some comments, see what everybody was saying here. So Dave said, did I say hi to, I said hi to Dada. I did. Dave said, I saw Fantastic Four trailer. I liked it, but I already see people calling it woke because of the female surfer, which is Canon Norman Rad's wife, I believe, which people would just relax. I don't, with this one, I just don't care enough. Like, I don't care enough that she's a woman, or if it was a guy. Like, Silver Surfer's another one. Like, I've just never. Oh, and then I'll pose a question to you, actually. I've just never cared enough about Silver Surfer to be like, oh, no, I can't believe it made him a woman. Like, I don't. And I guess he was a woman at one point in the comic books.
I mean, Galactus has had a bunch of what
Heralds.
word do they heralds? Thank you. He's had a bunch of heralds. I'm sure he had a woman at some point. I
Yeah.
was actually going to say before you ask your question, just looking at this, one critique I have of it: make her bald. Like
Yeah.
she doesn't need
That
to
did
have
bother
hair.
me.
She doesn't
That
need to
did
have
bother me.
silverfied or silver whatever. She doesn't need to have
Yeah.
hair like that. It doesn't like I don't care if this was going to be your question, by the way. I don't even care that they gender swapped her. Like,
No.
and she's what would be the female of Norman? Nora,
Nora. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. So I don't. I mean, I really don't care. But again, that's just because it's not my specific fandom. Like, Amazing Spider-Man 2, when all of a sudden one of Peter's parents is alive in canon, like that's, okay, that's irritating to me
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But, again, I don't know if you're going to find somebody who's going to be like, oh my God, she's a woman. And like, I don't know these people. I don't know these Fantastic Four fans.
Well, here's the thing. They're not the people who make the videos. Oh my God, she's a woman. What are you doing? They don't watch the content anyway. Like they're just gonna do it because they're like, oh, now I have a topic I can talk about in a video. Like that. That's where that's gonna come from. It's not gonna be from somebody who's like, oh, I've read all the comics. It's BS. There's only like two YouTubers I think that like could, like if they were like, oh, I used to read all of them, I would believe them, but they would also complain for the sake of complaining, not because they have a preference. No, the question I was going to pose to you. So one of my friends, he sent me a text about a conversation they're having at work, a debate, and he said the wrong name, and I knew what he meant, so I answered it. But then I thought about what he said, and I was like, oh, I wonder if this would have been my answer still. So the text message read along the lines of, "Who's stronger and who would win in the fight? Silver Surfer or the Flash?" And when I started answering, I was answering as though he wrote Quicksilver. So once I gave him my answer that I believe the Flash would win, I said, "By the way, did you mean Silver Surfer or Quicksilver? Because I'm interpreting the text based on the argument that you actually meant to say Quicksilver." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, that makes more sense that I guess even amongst themselves, they were calling Quicksilver Silver Surfer in a speedster versus speedster fight." So I was like, yeah, I think the Flash would smoke, specifically Barry Allen would smoke and kill the Quicksilver if they had a fight, in my opinion.
Not you're not up on your Wally West. You're besmirching Wally.
Is Wally now better than Barry?
Wally has been shown to have a much deeper connection to the Speed Force than Barry.
Okay.
He actually at different times, I want to say he's had like he's been lost in the Speed Force for a long time.
Yep.
So like he absorbed more of the energy, stuff like that. Recently, a couple years ago, when I say recently, but a couple of years ago, he had a whole thing where he actually, bear with me, he absorbed Dr. Manhattan's powers.
While they're doing that crossover stuff?
They did that stuff where I never actually read it. I think the whole thing was like that the Watchmen actually happened in the DC universe, and Dr. Manhattan did something to make everybody forget about the Watchmen. So I think that was what it is. And anyway, at the end, somehow Wally becomes not Dr. Manhattan, but he just has his powers and he can like alternate between them. Anyway, Wally has been shown to have a lot more of a deeper connection with the Speed Force, and he's able to do stuff with the Speed Force that Barry can't. Like he's able to, I don't know if it's canon anymore. I'm a little behind on DC, but he's able to usually like time travel without the cosmic treadmill. That's something unique to him. And other things that I'm blanking on right now. I want to say he even like helped reactivate connections to the Speed Force, but I could just be pulling that out of my ass.
Wait.
But no,
Flashpoint was Wally, not Barry?
No. Flashpoint was Flashpoint was Barry because they did bring Barry back, and Wally. I think that was at one point where Wally was lost in the Speed Force, maybe. But no, Flashpoint was Barry because they wanted him to come back because I forget the guy's name. The same head of DC who was obsessed with the idea of killing off Dick Grayson, wanted all the legacy heroes back, and that's how come Hal Jordan and Barry came back. They wanted their legacies back. But no, Flashpoint. Flashpoint was Barry Allen, and it was more or less how it happened in the comics. Reverse Flash, he goes back to save his mom, and Reverse Flash does something, or that changes history. It's been a long time since I read it, and then that kicks off the New 52 universe, which is now, I'm pretty sure, gone.
Yes.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
So
now, all that being said, if we did Silver Surfer versus, I guess at this point we'll say Wally West, I still
Quicksilver.
No.
Silver Surfer. Okay.
I think universally we all know Quicksilver would not. This is not more powerful than the Flash.
Okay.
Because there's no Speed Force type thing in Marvel to the same level that I could think of.
Right.
So, but now we're dealing with somebody who could travel faster than the speed of light and has the power cosmic. Does Silver Surfer beat the Flash? I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I think Wally West at like the peak of his powers that I'm thinking of him at recently, he beats probably Silver Surfer.
Yeah. All right, cool. That's where I was.
So
I was like, I'm willing to more entertain Silver Surfer versus the Flash, but I'm not willing to entertain Quicksilver versus Flash. Like, I don't think that's an argument.
I'm pretty sure in like the really old comic, the JLA versus the Avengers, I'm pretty sure like Quicksilver comes to the DC universe, and like I think it was Barry, it could have been Wally, but whoever the Flash was, I'm pretty sure he like runs, pun intended, I guess, runs circles around him, and he's just like, you're supposed to be fast? Okay.
Yeah. Cool. I'm glad we took that deviation of the conversation.
I'm sure people in the chat are not.
Dave said, I'm not hyped, but I'm looking forward to this more than Superman. That's a hot take.
Wow.
And I know he's not kidding either. He's not even trying to be like divisive or anything. The trailer looks good. This is Dada. Trailer looks good. The CGI Silver looks kind of weak, but what do you expect? They could have tried a more practical effect, I guess. It's tough, especially because Quicksilver. See, now I'm doing it because Silver Surfer can go through the board and needs to be super shiny. So I can understand why it had to be CGI, but it's still not like cool. It's not. Nothing about it's like, oh wow.
Yeah, and it's pretty close to coming out, right? So shouldn't like the effects be locked at this point? Well, I mean, is it like summer or is it like a May release?
Is that the same thing?
No, like because Thunderbolts comes out in May, but
so then this one's like July.
Think of May. Okay, yeah, like that's a summer movie to me. Like May is still like spring.
Yeah. Speaking of effects, Dave said Fantastic Four has better special effects than leaked footage of the Legend of the White Dragon. I wouldn't expect Legend of the White Dragon to have better effects than Fantastic Four, but I'm always down for a dig at Legend of the White Dragon. Also talking about Roman Reigns. Reed Richards is a true nerd. Anthony's right about Wally. Wally's leveled up. All right, cool. So for the longest time, I may have said it before, I thought Flash on Justice League was Barry Allen, and then it wasn't until Unlimited when I realized he was Wally.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they've ever really addressed what happened to Barry in that show across the two seasons.
The only
two
reference
shows.
You have the only reference you have to Barry is it's one of those like Nightwing's cameo. Blink and you miss it. And it's definitely in Justice League Unlimited. It's the episode where Wally's going to be honored and he's trying to get Batman to come, and Batman ends up agreeing and he drags Orion to come. You know the episode?
Sorry, say it again.
It's the episode where Wally's going to be honored with like a key to the city or something. And he tries to get somebody from the Justice League to go. He ends up getting Batman to agree, and Orion, the new god, Batman also like looks at him and he's like, "Oh, do I have to go too?" Okay, remember the episode?
Vaguely.
Mark Hamill ends up voicing the Trickster again.
Yeah, like all his rogues show up.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
In the beginning of the episode, before he goes to the watchtower, he's working in a crime lab, and like there's a guy, a very like clean cut blonde haired guy who I think is supposed to be Barry. I don't
Mm.
remember if he references him by name or if like just the appearance is supposed to be Barry, but that's the only thing I got that ever references Barry. They never go too quick. Excuse me, too quick. They never go too deep into their private lives or powers. Like the most they ever touch on the Speed Force is at the end of Justice League when he vanishes for a split second, which I thought
Yeah.
was a mistake. They should have left him gone. Like I get it, it's a kids cartoon. Like you probably can't do that, but like save it and have him come back in Justice League Unlimited. That would have been pretty badass.
Well, I mean, hey, they kind of did that with Young Justice when whatever his name was, uh he disappears in the Speed Force. Um God, well,
Wally.
that's supposed to be Wally too?
Kid Flash, he disappears into the Speed Force. Or he dies, but I'm assuming he disappears into the Speed Force.
I forgot that was supposed to be Wally as well.
Yeah, Kid Flash.
Yeah.
That's Wally,
Yeah.
and then Impulse comes in that
Impulse. Yeah.
season.
It's been a
So,
while.
but yeah, it's yeah. Well, I mean, the last seasons of Young Justice completely destroyed the legacy. So,
That, I like to say, I like to throw around the top 5 thing. The fall off of Young Justice needs to be studied in like college, in filmmaking or
it's
TV making, because it was, when you think about franchises and things that were dead that the fans were able to bring back or change. We have the Snyder cuts. We have Sonic changing how he looks before the movie comes out. You have Young Justice coming back from the dead. Like, the fans demanded it. Well, excuse me, and it came back, and it came back so poorly. It came back
yeah.
so bad, and I I, I think Dre actually likes it. Dave, you can let me know. Dre didn't mind the last 2 seasons of Young Justice. They were unwatchable to me. I was just like, what are you doing? And the final one doesn't even include the OG characters of Young Justice. Like, they bring the show back to kind of start phasing out the Young Justice. Like, it's so bizarre of a decision to be made. I don't understand how they got to that.
Do you? I agree, but I'm trying to remember now what was the whole Superboy being lost. By the way, spoilers. Was the whole Superboy being lost in the Phantom Zone? Was that season 3 or was that a final season thing?
That was the final season.
Okay, and then yeah, that was, and then like they end up doing a weird time travel thing because Zod's kid comes to the present day and kills himself. And oh, right, that's what it was.
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so to finish the thought, they think Superboy's dead the entire season because they see like a shadow burnt into the wall on Mars, and then it turns out to be General Zod's kid who was screwing with the Legion of Superheroes who time travel, and it was his shadow burnt into the wall because he got vaporized. But what was the first season about that they got resurrected for?
So the one you're talking about is this one, Phantoms. Phantoms was the final season. The
Right.
one
Well,
the one before it is Renegade or Underground. Season 3 is like Outsiders. It was Outsiders, and
right.
that's when they bring in the like alien creature thing that says his name, like Groot. Um, Static Shock's kind of at the end of it. He's like rescued from something where they have captured young powered people,
Yeah.
but
Okay. I'm vaguely.
it's them. I believe this is the season where, because the 2 seasons, first of all, episodes were blurring in my head where I couldn't even tell you what the plot of the show was. But I know the Outsiders thing was because Beast Boy started his own team because he became like a celebrity, and he started calling them the Outsiders. So you had the
Yeah.
golem or the alien creature thing. You had the girl, the Muslim girl who had like whatever power they felt like giving her at that
Yeah.
time.
The
She could do like
resurrection power too.
Yeah. Then you had the like Russian type kid that was like a prince or something.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So
Was Cyborg in there?
he ends up coming in at some point, but very loosely. Like he's not a major plot point.
Gotcha.
I think he's probably more in the final season. But the thing
Right,
is
because
like, oh,
season
sorry.
three had Apocalypse. Sorry, like because like
Oh, I think so.
isn't like
Yeah,
Granny Goodness revealed to be like Beast Boy's executive producer or something?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I watched a video one time, a video essay about Young Justice, and it was like, why did it fail? And one of the things that I often forget bug the crap out of me is like this poster. Like when you look at this poster of Phantoms, I see Aqualad, I see Superboy, I see Nightwing, I see Miss Martian, and yet none of them are focal points of either of those last two seasons.
Hmm.
Like they're on the cover of everything, they're in all the ads, and then you watch the show and they're just pushing new characters on you that you have no connection to. And the worst part is we were all fighting so hard to get the show back because we wanted to see the characters we started to love from the first two seasons. So you fight to get a show back for them to bring the show back and not give you those characters. It just makes no sense. But and then going from season 3 to season 4, even in season 4 they start to give you new characters after trying to establish them in season 3. It's wild. The
Yeah.
fall off of the show was just absolutely wild.
Yeah, and I'm starting to remember more. Like season four, it was like stuff. It was like, why are we devoting time to this? Because it was a lot about they go to Mars because
Yes.
Superboy and Miss Martian are going to get married, and they go basically to have the ceremony. And it was episodes of them building a marriage thing, like a marriage something to stand under, and like dealing with Martian racism about the Greens hating the whites, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like this is for the Miss Martian TV show. This is not for Young Justice. This is
Right.
like, yeah, it was just like two, like they broke away from the formula that worked, which was them going on missions and basically spitting in the Justice League's face occasionally.
Yeah. It was
I
also a
loved the first season, by the way. I'm sorry to cut you off. The
negative.
first season, I wish they didn't do the time jump. Like, even though season two is great and I like it,
This is where I was
but
going
I
to go
want
to.
one more season. Yeah, I want one more season where it's Dick Grayson, Robin, and like young Kid Flash and all, and like those guys. I don't know. That first season was definitely something special.
Yeah. It's crazy because in my head, I'm thinking of so many plot points, and I'm thinking there's like 5 or 6 seasons, but because of the time jumps, it's only a lot of what I'm thinking of is literally just season 1 to season 2. And
Yeah.
I always think of the episode when they start the security service, and I'm confusing Arsenal with uh,
Oh
uh,
right.
um,
With Speedy.
with Speedy, yeah. And even that whole thing of like now there's like a kid involved, like it they mature so much from season 1 to 2. It's almost like you needed something in between. Like
Yeah.
we needed a 1.5 to go from you know Grayson is 12 to maybe there's a season where he's like 18, not like we jump to when he's 25 or 30, like that's how far it felt as far as development
Yeah.
that happened in between seasons. But
I love Sal's made this point, and since he's not in the chat, I love this point that Sal made, and I'll say it for everybody. The first episodes before like they elect Aqualad the leader,
mm-hmm.
it's so great just to see like Robin disappearing, and like when they're arguing with each other, like, why don't you just disappear into the darkness? And they're like, well, we don't know how to do that. We're not you. We're not raised by Batman, or like,
Yeah.
they're just so uncoordinated. Like that was like some good, really good stuff in that first season, in those first episodes. And the time again, the time jump was cool, but if they, I don't know, was it the original creative team for seasons 3 and 4? Because if
Yeah.
it's not, get them back, give us a season 1.5, and maybe we can, one more time get some life out of this thing.
It was them.
But
I remember them talking
well, in
at,
that
at
case, never
conventions
mind.
about it. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Ugh,
of course they
never
bring in
mind.
other people. You know, it's and that's where I'm nervous. Part of my fear going into X-Men 97 season 2
Hmm.
is I don't know where um Homeboy started and ended with story development and plot, and that's not going to be good. This is going to be good. Bo DeMeo, like I don't know where he fell along the process, because you have a show like Young Justice where like that team came back and they went from gold to poop, but we
Hmm.
don't know all the backstory. Like maybe they had new executive producers that told them what to do, or they had, you know, whatever, or it could be reverse. The show came back and they were told, just do what you want. We trust you. And they effed it up. So with X-Men 97, I'm like, of the formula is being changed, but we don't know what that effect is going to be. And I'm afraid X-Men 97 season 2 comes out and it's not going to be good. Although I feel like we might feel that more in season 3, because I think for season 2 they're still using his game plan. Like he had started already writing season 2. So,
Hmm.
you know, we'll see when it comes out, but you know, that's my fear there. It's because here's the thing too. Oh, actually, here's an example that works um, in a way that kind of makes me mad. Iron Man 2 technically is still Jon Favreau. It's just
Yeah.
now you had corporate oversight. So
Well, I
it
mean, I guess that argument can also go for Mando season 3. Same, in theory, it's the same team.
same team.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy's just like, wait, this is popular. I have to get more involved.
Or does she get less involved? That's a, that. I mean, at that
I'm
point,
gonna
she's
go
got
with
so
she
many.
had to get more involved.
No, because season 2 popped off. Season 2 was pretty popular going into it.
No, season 2 was very popular, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like all the other movies that you have. Okay, we're gonna go down this road for a minute. I have to imagine, I have to assume, dangerous, I know. I have to assume she was very involved in the sequel trilogy,
Yes,
right? So she's heavily involved in that, but somehow she can churn, and it's all shit, but somehow she can churn out 2 amazing seasons of a Star Wars TV show. And then the third one goes bad, which is maybe the point where I'm thinking she jumps in more.
I love this conversation because I'm going to take that same argument and say we got um, Mando season 1 and 2, and we
Hmm.
have the guy who made Clone Wars, and we got Ahsoka.
Yes, and I knew you were going to say that, but I would also argue then that she was again very, very much involved because she was like, "Oh, well, this Mando universe is going so well. I have to really sink my teeth into it." And now it's all shit. But again, I will say I could be wrong because yes, Dave Filoni gave us the Clone Wars. He gave us the first 2 seasons of Mando, and then season 3 and Book of Boba Fett, and then Ahsoka. Ooh, who the hell knows? The brightest moment in
Bad
Ahsoka.
Batch,
Bad Batch was good too. I liked Bad Batch. I didn't like every episode, but Bad Batch was damn good.
damn good.
Yeah. If you strip away the fluff episodes and just like them on
Thousand
their
percent,
mission,
1,000%.
yeah.
But that's like 3 episodes a season. That's like 4
Well,
episodes a
listen,
season
maybe it should have
out
only
of
been
12.
a 6 episode mini series. I don't know. In the end of season 1 of Bad Batch, spoilers, when they blow up Camino,
That's
I got
sick.
fucking I got fucking like choked up. I'm like, damn,
Yeah, yeah,
because that's been there since Clone Wars, the movie, the cartoon. You never know what happens to it, and what happens? They do a purge.
yeah, yeah. Shout out to KO in the house. Good to see you. I
Hi, KO.
I I
We'll
am
never
will
know.
I would love it if they did a director's cut of Bad Batch seasons 1 and 2, where it's only the main episodes edited into like a movie format. That would be sick. Because season Team Jugs in the house, good to see you. Um,
Yep.
Even season 2 like had amazing highs. like the stuff with Crosshair, like on his
Yeah.
own, and amazing episodes. Everything
That
else is
episode where
just
they're on the ice planet for
exactly.
Crosshair. Yeah, that one was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So where's the oversight? Like who made what decision? It's like I gotta know. It's like because man, you
Yeah.
were so good and you were so bad at the same time. And what's interesting too is thinking about the Clone Wars show. I watched it in a very like messed up order. Like and I've told other people this is how you should probably watch it if you're really iffy about it. I I watched it straight through because I wasn't watching it in real time until I think the final season, maybe. No, not even. The only show I watched in real time was when Clone Wars came back after being canceled, and Rebels. I was watching Rebels in real time via downloading them on iTunes actually. Um,
Hmm.
but with Clone Wars, I was telling people if you want to get into the show, what I did was I only watched the episodes that involved Jedi and Jedi that I knew. Like if the description was like Anakin and Obi-Wan do blank, or Obi-Wan does blank, or Anakin does blank, all I did was watch those, and I watched the whole show straight through, and I loved it. Because the other thing too, people don't realize is the show is not even like in chronological order. Like technically, there's episodes that are not in order of when those events actually happened. But I watched that straight through, and then once I was done, I went back and watched the filler stuff. Of which case, I learned the clone stuff was way more interesting than the Anakin and Obi-Wan stuff at times. And even the there was like that 4 episode arc with R2D2 and the other astromech droids. Like that was
Yes.
amazing when they had like the little admiral alien thing, like, or commander.
Yeah.
Like that was fun, and you got to meet like the clone trooper that went AWOL and left. They ended up bringing him
Yeah.
back later on. I don't know why, but um, there was really
Didn't
good
they bring
things
him
in there.
back in Bad Batch?
He's one. Yeah, I think he's one of the old clone troopers.
Hmm.
Pretty sure.
I love, by the way, that episode with with R2 and the other mechs and the little guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said it. I think I've said it before on the show. If anybody hasn't read it, they have to go find the current run of Star Wars and Marvel, which is very good. It's got to be done now because so they did it where it was like A New Hope happens, and then there's the Star Wars and a Darth Vader comic, and then that leads into Empire, and then Empire happens, and then they do a new run of Star Wars and Darth Vader, and that leads into Jedi. So
Mm-hmm.
that has to be done by now. But I want to say, I guess it's between Star Wars, it's between Episode 4 and 5, that comic run where R2 goes to rescue 3PO, and it's one little, he's alone and he's causing all this chaos and he's racking up bodies left and right on Vader's Death Star, and they finally get out and they're in their X-wing going back to the fleet, and Vader comes out and he's using R2 is using Anakin maneuvers against Vader,
Mm-hmm.
and like they're having a conversation, C-3PO and R2, and basically I don't think they translate it, but I'm gonna assume that R2's like, all right, fuck this, it's time I kill Darth Vader, and C-3PO's freaking out. You are not killing Darth Vader. Get me out of here. Get me back to the Rebel Alliance. We cannot kill Darth Vader, R2, and like shit like that. I love point of that whole tangent. I love episodes and books and shows like that where they let R2 and the droid shine because
Yeah.
they're fun. They're fun characters. They're such fun characters.
Yeah. Gregor is the character. I was
Gregor.
I was kind of mad when they brought him back because I thought him at the end of that episode was awesome. How he died saving all of them, but I guess he didn't die. Um, but I knew it was one of the three. I was like, wait, one of them did like a self deletion mission and lived for some reason. It was him. But no, I mean, I think one of the frustrating parts about Star Wars in general is we've witnessed so many awesome stories that don't involve Skywalker stuff, but they just can't get that to happen in live action movies. Like the movies always they need it to revolve around something Skywalker related. And it's like, no, just deviate, go off, do something else, and I don't know, try something outside the Clone War window. Just give it a shot. Maybe someday. Porkin said, all killer, no filler. Wait till you see the new game in the pipeline, Zero Company. It's turn-based. I'm not excited for that. Chopper has the biggest body count. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chopper is a freaking menace.
Yeah.
He was also a highlight in Ahsoka. When they're on the... they go to Corellia, right? That's where... when they're investigating the stuff for the hyperdrive engines, they're on Corellia or whatever the hell planet they're on, and they're above the spaceport, and Chopper is just like encouraging. Apparently, he's encouraging Hera to just like blow up the ship and let it crash down and kill everybody in the dock. And
Yeah.
she's like, "You can't do that; it'll kill too many people." And he's like, "And?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Chopper is a friggin' menace.
Oh man,
In the like teaser for the final season of Rebels, they describe him as a war veteran, which he is, but I just like, instead of like giving that to Zeb or to Kanan, I love that they give like a pretty, solid descriptor like that to Chopper.
Yeah, the irony. He's the one that gets it.
Yeah.
So I guess, kind of going not full circle, but looping back to the beginning of the episode, before we end this episode talking about Daredevil, I do want to cross into toys. And you made a purchase today. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, well, that makes one of us. Yes. I in the ever-growing collection of stuff I have that will never be opened,
Yep.
I have pre-ordered this and the Punisher Daredevil from last night's episode specifically. Yeah, no, I mean, I pre-ordered Daredevil proper, so I need something to go with it. I can't have the poor guy just hanging out alone on the shelf for the rest of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, there he is. And yeah, I'm excited to see you open it and pose it.
Well, actually, I got two. This is one I ordered two. I ordered two of Murdoch as well, or Red, as he would say. And
why?
I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that part of it was maybe I could use it for trade someday, or
Okay.
Sell it at some point. But I think I would still at some point maybe open the second of each of these if there's some sort of customization to be had, because a lot of the doubles I've purchased over the years, like I've either given to like you, or like I know Josh got some of my doubles, like I saved them for people who like missed out that are friends of mine. Yeah. But nowadays if I'm buying a double, it's because I want to potentially do some sort of customization with it, secondary to maybe if I need something, I can be like, oh, I have this though. Do you want to trade for it? I'm not trying to immediately flip it for like double the profit. It's like, oh, there's something I really want. I have this one that was hard to get. Can we trade?
I have two customizations in mind that popped in head right away. You have to, I'm sure there are files online. You have to find a Ben Affleck Daredevil head sculpt and a Thomas Jane, and on the duplicates, if you can, pop those heads off and pop on theirs, and you have a Daredevil Punisher multiverse event.
Question. So when I was on T3's show the other day, behind him, he had up two posters. He had the Crow and he had Punisher Dolph Lundgren. And I was saying how, funny enough, we were talking about how when we were younger, sometimes you have to see explicit stuff through like rated R action movies. And we kind of deciphered, I think Big Trouble in Little China or Showdown in Little Tokyo might have been my first booby movie. Like I was thinking about it.
Your
and
first
I was like,
booby movie?
Yeah, where you see boobs. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy.
Okay. No, I just wanted to make sure I heard you right.
Yeah. But all of that was also leading to a conversation about Dolph Lundgren's Punisher movie. and I feel like he may still be the best live action version of Punisher we've seen.
Hmm.
I'm not saying the best movie, but I don't mind Dolph Lundgren Punisher visually, and even from what I remember, the movie's been so long.
I mean, visually, yeah, because he's just so tall and imposing. I couldn't say anything about the movie. It's like
It's been so
I
long.
vaguely remember him. It's been so long. For some reason, I feel like he rode his motorcycle through the sewers,
Yeah,
and yeah, and being a civil servant, I know that's just not accurate.
it's not possible.
It's impossible.
I mean,
Oh,
we also like other franchises where they also ride vehicles through the sewers. So
yeah, and that's also equally impossible. But anyway, no need to get too into it. But yeah, uh, does he actually call himself the Punisher in that movie? I
I don't
don't
think
think he'd
so.
remember either. But it's just yeah, that's the thing. It's like the Punisher in is the movie title only. Almost like they didn't have the rights, but they definitely had the rights
It definitely had that vibe.
or something. I'll tell you one thing: he made a hell of a He-Man.
True, true. Um, Dolph was a good Punisher. Stevenson as well. I actually loved Punisher Warzone. I thought Punisher Warzone was great. I just
Hmm.
feel like we haven't had the perfect mix of like I don't care if I kill somebody, I can be injured, but I'm also intimidating. Like, um, God, whatever. Now I'm drawing a blank on his name. Punisher right now.
Thomas Jane.
No,
Oh,
right now Punisher.
John
Um,
Bernthal.
John Bernthal. Like, don't get me wrong. If I saw John Bernthal in person, I don't have any qualms thinking he would throw down. Like he looks like he's ready to go at all times. But I don't look at him and think like I'm intimidated. And Ray Stevenson, kind of because he's tall. Definitely not Thomas Jane, even though I do like that movie. But Dolph Lundgren being like 6'4" or whatever, like I feel like he embodies more of the Punisher vibe than anybody else I've seen. But that's really being nitpicky. Um, Thomas Jane Punisher though, I do like that movie. Did I send you the video where he explains why that was in Miami and not New York?
I feel like you did,
Well,
but just remind me.
so when they decided to do the Punisher movie with Thomas Jane, it was gonna be in Hell's Kitchen. Like everything was all lined up for it, and for whatever reason, they needed to have John Travolta in the movie. They were just so determined to have John Travolta be the villain that he was like, "All right, I'll do the movie," and they're like, "Awesome." He's like, "But I need to be able to fly to work every day. I'm not gonna stay in whatever city or whatever. I want to be able to go home every single day, and I'll get to set via flying my plane."
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they, no pun intended, landed on Florida. They're like, "All right, dude, we'll do it in Florida. You can fly your little plane from whatever place you live in Florida down to Miami." And he was like, "Great." And they literally moved the entire thing from New York to Miami, which I feel, and Thomas Jane even said it, changes the entire dynamic of the movie. You go from dark, gross, crime ridden New York City with Punisher to almost a Miami Vice. It's sunny all the time, Florida. It doesn't really
Yeah,
work.
yeah. Also, I don't know why he must have been melting in that friggin' leather coat they have him in for most of the movie.
Yeah.
Uh, I've actually never seen Punisher Warzone.
Oh, really?
I didn't know any of that about the Thomas Jane Punisher,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I didn't see Warzone because I was getting fed up with Fox at the time,
Fair.
and I saw in a trailer where Steven, like, they give him the terrible line of, "Sometimes I just want to get my hands on God," and it's like, oh God, no, 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 this is not the Punisher, no, no, no. By the way, I sent you something in the Ecam chat. If we're gonna talk about alternate versions of, you know, we got to look at this guy for a brief second. Alternate versions of the characters. But yeah, maybe we should rewatch. Well, at this point, it would be watching for the first time. We should try to watch the Dolph Lundgren uh, Punisher. See how bad it really is. Is Louis Gossett Jr. in that?
He actually might be. Louis Gossett is in like everything in the 90s.
You know, I will maintain that the first Iron Eagle movie is a damn good movie. 80s movie. It's a
I don't
damn
think
good
many
80s
people
movie.
dispute that that's a good movie.
No? Okay,
I
good.
don't think so.
Because I figure obviously it's right around the time of Top Gun, so it's not the superior flight movie. But
Right.
as a kid, I was just like, oh cool, I can totally like I'm gonna steal a jet and go like, bomb Iraq or whatever.
So my Louis Gossett movie of the 90s is Toy Soldiers. When they
Toy Soldiers.
Toy Soldiers is the one often confused with the actual Toys Soldier movie. Um, yes, Man Collects confirms Louis Gossett. He plays the cop in that Punisher movie. Um, Toy Soldiers is the one where they're all in boarding school. It's a boys' boarding school, and terrorists take over the boarding school. Louis Gossett Jr. is the dean of students in that movie. And there's a bunch of friends, and the friends take down the terrorists in the movie. Uh, Not very effectively. They try their best, and then it turns out that the terrorists are there because they're trying to kidnap Will Wooten, Will
Will
Wheaton, whatever.
Wheaton?
Yeah, they're trying to kidnap him because his dad's like some sort of like millionaire or something, and they want to get the
Mm-hmm.
ransom. That's why they end up being there. Enemy of
I
Mine's also
remember
another great one.
this.
Yeah, it's with Frodo, Samwise get
Yeah, yeah. I went on IMDb and the trailer is actually playing without sound right now. Oh my god, I forgot all about this movie.
This was a classic like TBS Saturday morning movie. Like I'd watch this and then Bloodsport comes on after. Like that's where this fit into my life.
Right. Oh wow, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And then it's
Memory
fun.
Lane on Thursday nights.
And then it's funny because they were drinking booze, but they were hiding the booze in mouthwash bottles. And I remember
Yes.
trying to drink that at home.
Oh my god. Okay, so this isn't where I got the idea because many people did this anyway, but I hope I'm past the terms of prosecution or whatever. When I was overseas, a friend of mine sent me a mouthwash that was not mouthwash, and I was
Yep.
just very like not subtle post-it. Don't drink this around other people. Don't use it. Don't open this in front of anybody important. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. No, yeah,
Statute
that's
of
where
limitations. That's what I was
statute
going
limit.
for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're only kidding anyway.
Wow.
You're just saying that for the sake of story.
Yeah, no, I'm totally making that up. It didn't happen. Didn't
No,
happen.
but yeah, this is my Louis Gossett movie. If I'm to pick a Louis Gossett Jr. movie,
Mm,
but Enemy of Mine's close second. Enemy of Mine. I'm glad even tying into Ahsoka. I've said it many moons ago when we were talking about would they ever bring back Ezra in Star Wars. Considering how Rebels ended with Ahsoka, with Ezra and Thrawn being on the ship, shooting off into hyperspace, just the two of them, I was like, it would be great if when they were found, it was an Enemy of Mine situation where instead of them, do you know Enemy of Mine, by the way?
no, but I think I'm seeing what you're getting at. Keep going.
Yeah, so Enemy of Mine, it's the Earth versus this other alien species. The Earth pilot is I forget his name, but you'll see him now. And then the alien creature is Louis Gossett Jr. They are in a space battle with each other with their respective armies. They both crash land on a planet. Of course, try to kill each other. Fail. Dennis Quaid, thank you. Fail at killing each other. End up working together to survive on the planet, and becoming friends. And then spoiler alert, Louis Gossett Jr.'s alien character, they're actually asexual. He ends up giving birth to a kid. Louis Gossett Jr. dies in the movie, and then Dennis Quaid raises the kid, and then I think they get rescued, and then that's the whole thing of like, oh, you're with the enemy, and he's like, no, that's my son. Like it's a really good movie. It also a TBS like 10 p.m. on a Saturday type movie.
Gotcha.
So I was hoping that when they found Ezra, it was like him and Thrawn were there, and they had fought many battles over the years, and eventually were just like, why are we doing this? Like, let's just be friends and like survive together. And then Thrawn ends up like double crossing him at the end because he was like, long game, I needed you to survive. Like I thought that would have been really fun. Not
that
what
would
we
have been
got.
cool.
Yeah.
By the way, real quick, I looked up, like I said, I was on IMDb. According to the actors section for Louis Gossett Jr., it still says he has 10 upcoming projects.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Well, a couple, so 3 were in pre-production, one in production, one couple in post, one was in development. So yeah, one in development, and then a bunch of the rest are all in various pre or post production. So I forgot he was in the Watchmen TV show also.
I was
on
about to
HBO.
say that too.
Yeah. What was he? He was
He was her
not the Hangman.
He was like her grandfather or something.
He was her grandfather, and he was the first superhero. The Midnighter. He wore like the noose around his neck.
He wore the noose. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I could just click on the damn link, couldn't I?
It's funny because when he was under the tree, this goes back to the conversation I had last Thursday with you guys, where I was talking about when people are like, don't, woke trash, whatever, like everything's woke, blah, 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 don't watch the show. I skipped Watchmen because of that content. I skipped Watchmen because people were like, oh, here they go. Well, got to be a black woman superhero, whatever. And then last year, Amanda and I, for whatever reason, decided to watch Watchmen, the TV show, because Aaron Waller said it was a good show, but I just never checked it out. And then we decided to watch it. I'm like, son of a bitch. I was like, this show's actually really good.
No, it was a really good show.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, you know now, but for anybody who hasn't watched it, so it didn't. It continued the comic. It didn't continue the Zack Snyder movie. They went with the comic ending where instead of blaming Dr. Manhattan, they fake an alien invasion.
Yes.
So
it's so good. Like anybody, if you get a chance and you've not seen it, like it was a shame that they canceled the show. It was a real shame. And it makes me mad.
Yeah.
Because it was really creative.
Really interesting. They did a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. And Porkins, I'm not even talking about like critics in the traditional sense. Like so this show was this show is 2019, and it was victim to the Last Jedi effect. Like Last Jedi came out and literally spawned and pushed the like Hollywood's making everything woke agenda. Like because we were seeing so many things that were just terrible. We're coming off of Captain Marvel. We're getting like Batgirl on WB. Like there's so many things coming out that are just like, why is everybody now a girl or gay? Like that's what was happening. So this show came out in that time period. So it was very believable that, oh my God, here goes another one of those shows that's just gonna be terrible woke garbage. And it was judged before it came out. Show comes out, but it got canceled, I think, before it even was fully rolling. And sure enough, it ended up being good.
I can't believe it only came out in 2019.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Because you have like this one. The ones that always come to mind are this, Star Trek Discovery, which had its ups and downs. It's not a perfect show, but this, Star Trek Discovery, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. There was another one that was like, oh, obviously X-Men 97. But, shows that before they even come out, everybody's like, oh my God, they're going to go woke or broke. And then they end up being really good. Because when you actually watch them, you're like, oh, all right, I gave them a shot. But like I said, there's examples where they were not good either. So it's not a perfect formula. But I was so mad I skipped it.
Like you said, you got to give things a shot. You've got to.
Yeah. An or to Porkins' point, if somebody reviewed it and said it was that's a different conversation versus the content going into it that's saying that's what it's going to be, and then they're wrong. So, All right, you ready to get bloody and talk about it?
I am ready.
So
everybody in the chat who hasn't watched Daredevil, hit mute. Come back after you watch it.
And if you were not here at the beginning of this show, I'm gonna put the glasses on. When the glasses are on, we're talking spoilers to the season, and then when the glasses come off, we'll be done. So glasses are now going on. I can barely see. These are really effective.
I can't believe Matt Murdock is Daredevil.
What? Exactly. Got me by surprise too.
Yeah.
Did you know he was blind?
I did not. Jeez, I guess there are other ways to see.
Yeah. So overall, you said you agreed with my 4 out of 5?
I do. I forget why I said I agree in the chat, but basically it was so good to me, it was so good at continuing. It felt like the exact same show, just the new season with a time jump. I feel like it kind of just retreaded a couple things, like Kingpin again being the villain. Like I said in our message, it should have been Muse. It should have been Daredevil. Started like he did. Foggy gets killed. He makes a vow not to be Daredevil, and then the Muse killings drags him out, because just like it did in the show. But in the background should have been, oh my God, have you heard that Wilson Fisk is trying to get signatures to run for mayor? Oh my God, can you believe he actually did pretty well in the debate? It should have been spread out, and like maybe only an episode or two are devoted to him being in office. But then you have to, all the stuff that he did while he was in office throughout the season, that's a season 2 thing. Like, it just felt like, to me, again, I really like Kingpin as a villain, but it's like, we just got this in a sense, even though it's been a couple years.
Yeah.
We just got this. And they did what I don't like them doing. They killed the villain right away. They killed Muse.
Yes.
Like, now I've seen something, which this is like a potential spoiler for a season 2. Do you want this?
Yeah, I'll take it.
But it's just a theory. It's nothing official. And I don't know if this is accurate in the comics, but his girlfriend in the season, whose name escapes me, the psychiatrist, they're saying maybe she becomes Muse because she's like fucked up after that, which that doesn't make too much sense, because how is she's not a physical threat to Daredevil.
Right.
But okay, that could be interesting to see her break, because she has a very anti-vigilante, anti-mask standpoint.
Yep.
But yeah, just because they did Kingpin again, and like I said, I feel like we saw it, and also they did the opposite. Like, entire season 3 was, in a sense, trying to get him out of the suit and back into his Matt Murdock life. This was, he's refusing to go to Daredevil. He's only doing Matt Murdock. I feel like it was just kind of too similar. And I do get why he would do it, because Foggy died. And I think I said this in my review, when he finally does put the suit back on. It's a really good reason for him not to put the suit on, Foggy dying. I get it. It's a good reason for Karen to go away. It's a good reason for all these new characters to populate his world. Him saying fuck it and throwing the piece of horn down on Foggy's mask card, that felt completely wrong. And now I'll shut up and let you talk.
I mean, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. The only angle I take of I could see why they did it was, you know, when it comes to Marvel, we've taken a lot of L's. We've taken so many L's in the last 5 years. I guess at this point, 6 years, because that's when Endgame came out, 2019. But we've taken so many L's that with this one, I feel like they were like, let's just do our very best to make sure it's a success. And one of those, if we're looking at the formula, if we write it on paper, it's having Kingpin be here, and I don't think the story needed to have Kingpin be as big as he was, no pun intended with him either. Like, you're correct. Like, he could have just been in the background. Like, you have that initial conversation when there's a diner. I'm going to run for mayor. Cool. I bet you're not going to get it. Like, I bet you this city is not crazy enough to do it. And, Fisk is like, all right, we'll see. And then the whole season goes, and then, maybe he gets it second to last episode or something like that. So I can see why they did it, because they're like, all right, let's just do our very best. Vincent kills at this role. People like seeing him. Just do it. And I bet you there's tons of Muse content that got cut out. I bet you they probably filmed it the way you said it, where Muse was more of a pivotal character. And then they were like, I can't risk it. Scrap it. He's just going to be background, and then we'll kill him, 5 episodes in or whatever it was. So I love your idea of him being the pivotal villain or the main villain. I did like how when the show started, it was a lot of Murdoch just doing lawyer stuff, but it was very much everything we've seen before. I'm done being Daredevil. Kingpin is unbeatable. How are we going to do it following the law? Like, it seemed very much, we'll just do the normal routine. I did say in our group chat, and I may have said it on stream at one point, I could understand why he didn't want to be Daredevil anymore, because it's like, okay, I said I would quit, but I came back, and then it's like, I still failed. I failed again, and this time I failed even worse. Maybe if I had never come back in the first place, Foggy would have been like, there's so many scenarios to run in your head as Murdoch that like, F it, I'll just quit again. Like, I could see it. I could totally see it. But to your point, that was literally the plot of last season. Should I or should I not? So I still have to give it a 4 out of 5 because it was still really good. I think I give it a lot of grace because if I'm coming from the angle of Marvel, they're in a tough position either way. I think either direction the show would have been a 4 out of 5. If they did it the way you did, the way you suggested it, I think that would have been a 4 out of 5. Doing it the way that it came out, I think it's still a 4 out of 5. I don't think there's a lose scenario here, but I do think it would have been nice to see less Kingpin, more somebody else. But herein lies my concern about the next season. For the next season, I'm definitely ready for less Kingpin. Can they do that based on where they left off? I don't think so. I don't think so. So why don't you explain what happens at the end? Because this is what I consider to be the only real spoiler available to the show, if you've not seen it. And I don't even think it's that big of a deal, but I'll let you say what it is.
Okay. So basically at the end of the episode, Kingpin decides to, like, he's full on Mayor Kingpin. Like, he's like, fuck it, we're gonna do this. He has a Ghostbusters 2 moment, and he blacks out all of the city, and chaos is reigning. He sends his policeman hit squad, which, by the way, quick sidebar, we don't have to answer this right now. How many people know that he's Daredevil? Because what's their justification? What's he telling his guys? Hey, go kill Matt Murdock
again.
What?
Again.
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But anyway, so he cuts the power. He tries to have Murdock killed while he's in the hospital recovering. and this sets up a big fight where the Punisher comes to is waiting for him at his apartment. They eventually they fight off a horde of dirty cops. Frank kills a bunch of them, which he doesn't like, which is like, what did you expect? You're dealing with the Punisher. Um, they get out of there. They realize it all comes full circle. They finally put together that Foggy was killed because he stumbled onto something that was going to expose Vanessa Fisk and her shit that she was doing down at the ports. So that's why Foggy was killed, and that's why she set Poindexter loose on him, on the city. And now, again, they're trying to tie off loose ends in the one area, and he's trying to really solidify his power. They have a night of darkness, a night of chaos. Before the night's over, I thought we were gonna have end on like a cliffhanger of him like stumbling into the bad guys' hideout to go at it with everybody, but instead he retreats, which I was completely shocked by. Didn't see the retreat coming. Karen comes back, by the way, convinces him to fall back. They fall back to Josie's. This part happens the next morning. They fall back to Josie's. They have a little like one-on-one together, and then he goes out to the main area of Josie's in the suit with the mask on. He doesn't reveal his identity to everybody, and basically like the last good cops on the force are there, and he gives them a speech and basically says, we're going to take the city back. And Fisk at this point has declared martial law. He's really doubling down on no more vigilantes, which is interesting because if it's really in the MCU, you're going to find a way at least to mention Spider-Man. You're going to find a way to mention other heroes.
They've already mentioned Spider-Man in the show.
Well, but more. Like, you're going to mention him more than just the one fleeting thing. It's going to be like, in season 2 when it happens, because he's going to start assembling his team of defenders again. And, somebody's going to be like, what about, if they don't know, if they call him Spider-Man, or if they, if they don't want to, for some reason, I feel like it was before the merger. Like, they couldn't have said his name. Like, they would have been like, what about the Webby guy or something? Anyway, they'd be like, what about him? Like, nobody can pin him down. And besides, all he does is crack stupid jokes and like stand on the ceiling all day. It's too disconcerting. We don't need him. Like, shit like that. But anyway, they lead it to season 2 is like going to just be a ground war to take back the city from Kingpin, from the mayor, which and that kind of feels a little bit like Dark Knight Rises ish. But yeah, that's the long and the short of where we're ended. And like I said, I did not see him falling back. That I didn't have that happening at all. I figured it was going to end with him in a final fight, and it was going to be like, maybe if anything, it would have been like that when they first meet, when him and Kingpin first fight after he torches Nobu, and he just gets his ass handed to him by Kingpin. I thought it would be something like that at most. I didn't see them going there. So kudos for surprising me.
I did not know how they were going to justify him fighting at the end because he was so effed up. Like, at that point,
yeah,
I was like, he's so jacked up. He breathes. He's like, his ribs are, obviously broken. He's like, I was just like, I don't know how they're going to justify that. And I'm glad they didn't. They were just like, no, he's going to fall. Like you said, he's going to fall back. I made the analogy yesterday that the ending of this season is equivalent to Eternals to me. What has happened in New York City is so large and so major. There is no way you can bring in other movies and TV shows and that not affect those shows. It's impossible. Like, if Ironheart, when it comes out, which it's still supposed to come out this year, when Ironheart comes out, if she's in New York City and they're trying to tell me that this happens at the same time or after the events of Daredevil, and she's not automatically on the run, I'm going to be like, bullshit. Mm-hmm. If they do, if Thunderbolts comes out and Thunderbolts is anywhere near the same time period of this TV show, and they're not referencing the part that it's illegal to be a superhero in New York City right now, it's going to be freaking weird. Like, it just doesn't. Declaring martial law and outlawing being a superhero or a masked vigilante is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like that's Civil War was literally all about that. An entire movie was dedicated to that. that concept. So I think that's, to me, that's the only real spoiler to the show. Punisher being in the episode's already online. The memes of him talking to the cops being like "fuck cops" is already online. So I don't think there's any other like real spoilers to the show outside of the ending of the show. Where we stand, New York City has declared martial law against all masked vigilantes. Spider-Man, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, everybody who's a superhero in New York City right now. It's illegal to be a superhero in the eyes of the government.
Mm-hmm.
So I what I definitely don't want is for season 2 to start and they wrap up that whole thing in the first episode. I feel like there's been other shows. I immediately think of Titans. If you remember, Titans ended with season 1 ended with Satan showing up. What's his name? What was his name in the
Trigun?
Trigun shows up, and you're like, okay, season 2 they're gonna be fighting Trigon, and then all of a sudden, season 2, episode 1, they defeat Trigon.
Mm-hmm.
He's now irrelevant. Like I don't want that to happen for season 2 of this show. Like season 2 needs to be him and whoever else. I don't know if they're gonna have Punisher involved or if Punisher gets his own season 1 redo before that. I don't know, but it needs to be a longer conflict than just an episode because that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
That definitely has to be an entire season of stuff, and it doesn't. I mean, what was this? 9 episodes?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's enough time to resolve it if you do it well enough. But I mean, granted, I wouldn't if it's. It could very easily feel like they're just dragging it out without any other idea. So I don't know if I would want it to go into 2 seasons unless they did like, okay, we're gonna have a March and a December release, so we're really gonna wrap it up in a year instead of spreading it out over 2 years. But yeah, no, they can't. They, like you said, they cannot wrap it up in 1 episode, and they have to find a balance. Like I don't need to see him like Nick Furying everything and recruiting everybody. I need to see a little bit of that, but like it also has to just be like we're hitting the ground running, we're doing stuff, we're not like, talking about it so much.
Well,
And it's going to be interesting too because since obviously he knows who Daredevil is, Matt, like, are they going to do the whole Matt Murdock doesn't exist thing again? Because anything he does, clearly Kingpin can just be like, "Oh, hi, Mr. Murdock. What are you up to tonight?"
No, like we're at a point of no return here. Like you cannot. There's no court stuff in season 2. Like there's no. I'm going to defend anybody. That's gone. Yeah, that's gone. So my fear is season 2 not being good because they wrap this whole thing up in the first episode, or they do a 2-parter, thing, and Kingpin gets arrested. Matt is able to be a lawyer again. City's back to normal. Now we start episode 3 of season 2.
Here's a way it could go, and it would be very head scratchy. Elektra and the Hand show up, and they're his army, or they're his foot soldiers. Like Jessica and Luke, they're the generals, but like, a handful of good cops isn't enough, and this could go really sideways because it leads into Daredevil, where I think it was called Reign, maybe, where basically Daredevil declares himself the kingpin of crime, and it got that. I hope they don't adopt that story because I've read parts of it here and there, and like they kind of did a thing. They did it in some other book. Oh, they did it with Hal Jordan, where they excuse Hal Jordan for being parallax and wiping out a city and killing the Guardians because he was actually possessed. And I'm pretty sure that's what they said happened at the end of whatever that Daredevil story was titled, where he's the kingpin. Like, he becomes the leader of the Hand and all this, that, these, and those. And then it's like, no, he's actually possessed. That's what happened here. And so pick and choose your elements. It doesn't have to be an exact 1-for-1 from the books, but that could be interesting too, mainly because I want, I think you say her name as Elodie Young. I want her back as Elektra.
Yeah.
I want to see her again. let's go.
I love the concept of him running the hand. You know, I thought that the comic books as an idea was great. There's no way I'm gonna believe he needs them in like. Sorry, there's no way I believe it's an even fight of the hand versus NYPD. Like he would need them as his army against another rival army that's of ninjas, which I think is what happens in the books. But because I think the Punisher ends up being the other leader of a ninja army, the Foot.
Yeah,
I
the
believe.
hand versus the foot.
I'm pretty sure it's not even like a it's not even like a joke trying to be like a Ninja Turtle thing. I cannot see the mouse right now. There it is.
Well, we have a lot of. I mean, I'm excited for a Marvel project. Is the bottom line coming out of this?
Yeah.
So, I feel like it's been a while since anybody could have said that. I do want to know how they justify him, because I've seen stills already for like potential that they're filming season 2. I want to know how much gear survived, because they do very thoroughly blow up his apartment.
Yeah.
I almost hoped, although it would have been stupid because obviously Kingpin knows of that too. I almost hoped that they had like the final meeting instead of at Josie's. If they had done it at his apartment from the Netflix show, that would have been a nice full circle moment, I think.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to cover before we wrap the Daredevil conversation?
No,
The spoiler
not
side
with
of it.
Daredevil. I think we're good.
All right, I'm gonna take the glasses off.
You?
I think I'm good too. I just, like I said, I don't think there's a lot to spoil, but I also understand not wanting to, hear anything going into it. I don't dispute it. Great season. Glad it's back. I wish it had more fanfare to it, and I'm excited for some action figures tied to this.
Yeah.
So, there you go. We're done with that. Let us know your thoughts if you guys enjoyed it. It was a good show. Good show. Just type in here. Done with Daredevil talk. You are not excited for Fantastic Four. You are excited for Thunderbolts, or just iffy with Thunderbolts?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's probably mostly just because of Bucky, but
yeah.
I don't know. Something about it seems kind of interesting. I'm interested. Maybe excited's too strong, but I'm more interested in that than I was in Brave New World, and I made myself go see Brave New World, and I should have waited. But yeah, no, I'll be in the theaters for Thunderbolts, I think.
Yeah, same. I actually bought a movie ticket. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, or whatever the saying is, and I bought a ticket to Sinners. I'm going to see Sinners on Saturday, IMAX.
Oh, good.
And I'm hoping it's good.
That's the aspect ratio that he wants you to see it in, right?
I mean, his
the director.
I think his preferred was 70 millimeter, but the one that he was like most enthusiastic about, there's only like 5 theaters in the country showing it at that aspect ratio. But I think the bare minimum he's suggesting people to watch is IMAX, because there's also there's some aspect ratio where you're watching the movie and then the screen is like whatever size, and then for certain scenes more of the screen is revealed to take in the scene, and then it goes back to a smaller for stuff. So
gotcha.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I've Ultra Carter saying he hasn't been to the theater in 8 months. Yeah, I don't remember the last movie I saw, but I think it was last year. I know I saw Dune 2.
Ghostbusters?
No, I've definitely gone since then. I can just open my Fandango app. What's the last movie I saw in theaters? Actually, I haven't even started my my online list of 2025
Oh,
movies.
well, you better get on that because it's already almost the middle of April. Actually, is it? It's past the middle of April.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, talking about year-end recaps.
But what would have come out this year that was worthy of being talked about?
Not a whole hell of a lot.
That's the thing. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, if we did, trying to find it. I don't even remember the name of the website. That's Letterboxd. um, yeah, the last movie I watched was Nosferatu, which technically was a 2024, but a lot of people are counting it 2025 because the thing came out in December. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes 2024. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire 2024. So if I go to films, yeah, I don't. Let me see Fandango, my orders. Alien Romulus is the last one I saw in theaters.
And you didn't really care for that one, right?
No,
Okay.
I thought it was overrated. Did you watch that? Did we talk about that?
I did not. We didn't. I think I don't remember the spoilers, but it's it picks up with the original ship from Sigourney Weaver's first Alien movie, right? Or
No,
something like that. No? Oh, okay, then I don't know.
no.
We
I
don't have to
mean,
get into it now.
yeah. It the answer to that question is no. They pretend like it kind of is, but it's not. It's definitely not.
Okay.
No, I mean, this is my list of 2024. It's crazy that we're in April already, and I don't have a 2025 list. That's wild to just think about. But I thought, Trapped was a nice surprise of a movie, of something that's not a franchise. Same with Fall Guy. I thought Fall Guy was a lot of fun. Not a
Well, that
franchise
was a
movie.
fun movie.
Yeah. So I'm hoping Sinners holds a top spot for this year, being that based on what is coming out, it's the only non-franchise thing I'm looking forward to. So we'll see. We shall see. Any last things before we wrap today's episode?
I have a lot of stuff I have to just make myself sit down and edit. I have a lot of stuff sitting on my desk to unbox. So there are videos coming. It's just real life is real lifing lately. So, but lots of stuff to come. You never made. I don't think either of us have made the announcement to start the road to Comic-Con yet. So I definitely got to work on that video so we can officially get underway. Because a lot of the stuff I have to open has to do with Comic-Con and be a little bit jumping the shark if I just start doing that.
Actually, you're right. I forgot about that. We were talking about upcoming plans, and yeah, Ghostbusters Day is what, a month, 2 months away, less than 2 months
2 months
away.
away, June 7th.
So yeah, less than 2 months away.
Less than 2 months away, and we could have something really cool to do for Ghostbusters Day.
Yeah. Yes. So we'll see. I actually just pulled up real quick because I was just curious. For those good tastes, I pulled up their letterbox, and there have been movies this year, but I've cared to watch none of them.
Mm.
What was Craven? Was Craven this year? No, it was last year.
That was the end of last year.
So this top row here, yeah, like Novocaine, I'll maybe watch that on digital when it's free. That's crazy. Talk about a downfall in the theaters, huh?
Yeah. I want to see Mickey 17, the new Robert Pattinson movie.
I mean, the fact that Lenny only gave it a 2.5 stars out of 5, Lenny doesn't really hate movies, so if he gave it a 2.5, it's not that good.
Oh.
He gave it the same score as Captain America.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I actually don't have anything to edit right now. I am gonna work on a like top 5 questions people may have about the proton pack mod I did this last week. I feel like I shorted the video by a lot to be really condensed, but I think there may be some questions, and some people have messaged me about it. So I do plan on doing a top 5 on that. And I'm still debating doing that one master build of just like the ultimate spirit pack. So we'll see.
I say do it.
But for what? New York Comic Con? I guess that's the only thing I would do it for. I definitely don't have time to do that for Ghostbusters Day. And I also, from last year, don't want to necessarily take a proton pack to Ghostbusters Day.
Yeah, no, I would definitely not recommend doing that.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I do actually, there's one thing I need to record, and that is a review of this McFarlane Superman figure, which people are claiming is the best Superman figure he's released. And I've held off on buying a Superman figure because I haven't been impressed by any of them. And looking at this one in person, I kind of like it, but I don't like it enough that I want to I'm like dying to open it. But I feel like it merits a review, so I'll be doing that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
I still have to get, well, not still, but really last point. I want to get the old, I know you've shown me it and I just haven't bought it. I want to get like the old from like when I was a kid Superman toy that had like the kryptonite ring in it. Just
and
to
you
have
fall over. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the Flash from that line too, and for some reason the Flash's neck always caved into his body, so it looked like he was just shrugging his shoulders the entire time.
Why did it do that? Was that just a defect in yours?
I think, well, it happened because I have a brother, and we had to have the same toys because, boys will kill each other. So it did it on his too, and unless like I literally dropped it, both of them on their heads perfectly, which is a possibility. Who the hell knows?
I remember some of my figures having the ability for the head to go into the body to change, like the Batman one, but I feel like my DC ones also had that issue. Potentially the Flash one. Did you have the Flash that you're talking about? Was it the one that when you wound up his back, his arms would go? Was it that one?
I don't remember his arms moving, but he came with like a sled that looked like that his feet would be in a runner's pose, and the back of the sled thing looked like smoke or dust being kicked up, and you could like pull it back. You can pull it back, and you release, and the thing would. That's probably what broke it, because you can pull it back and let it go, and it'll shoot forward. But it's this little tiny base, if I'm remembering right, and it's the figure, so the figure wasn't balanced, and then it falls over, and his arms are permanently locked at 90 degrees.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Makes sense.
But anyway, yeah, so I have a lot to edit. We have to figure out making an announcement for Comic-Con 2025, and we offline have to discuss Ghostbuster Day.
Yeah, for sure. So. Well, before we wrap, let me end the poll, see where we're at. And you guys went with, yes, you guys like the intro videos. So the first place was yes. Second place was yes, under a minute. And no was third place with only 8%. So you guys making it tough. Maybe just refreshing the video portion of the intro will be enough to satisfy the demons. I haven't updated that in so long.
Doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you, the rambling nerd, for joining me. And yeah, well, the lives will continue. So I just got to figure out a way how to phrase it. But HeyArcher live somewhat daily around 6:30 p.m. But the Thursday night 8:30 ish, or sorry, 8:15 ish p.m. show will continue. More reviews, more unboxings, all that fun stuff. More nerd news, I guess, is a better way to say it, because we'll be talking about more topics in real time, I guess, versus waiting a whole week to talk about something. So I am excited to talk about that. Seeing Sinners on Saturday, so I'll bring you guys a review about that. Maybe I forego tomorrow's stream to stream after I've seen Sinners, either Saturday or Sunday morning. I don't know. I'll think about it. But either way, appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell to get notified every time we go live here on YouTube and on Twitch. Hit the notifications. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. We're out of here.
Huh? What? What? Huh? More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, beer.
Yeah, come on, push a button. Push the goddamn button.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.